Hello and welcome to the 9 p.m. news on Voice of the People TV. I am Jerry Opelai.
And I am Vivian Uguche.
Before we begin the news, kindly visit our website www.vop.nj for fresh and trendy news. And now to the headlines. Natasha Akpoti to face the Senate Disciplinary Committee.
Nscia urges Senate to remove bill sections conflicting with Sharia law.
Court remands the 3 Lagos Assembly workers for assaulting DSS officials.
Well, Nigerian Army debunks reports of automatic promotion for personnel.
Obi denies involvement in June 12 struggle.
The federal government denies scrapping visa on arrival process.
And in business, Nigeria's GDP grows by 3.84% in 2024 fourth quarter.
Well, in sports news, FG demands probe into death of Nigerian footballer in Uganda.
And in the world of entertainment, rapper Odumodu Black hospitalized after surviving car crash. And now the news in detail. The Senate has referred Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan to its Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions for disciplinary review following a dispute over seating arrangement in the chamber. The committee, chaired by Senator Neda Imaswen, has been given 2 weeks to investigate the matter and submit its findings. The decision was reached today after a voice vote on Tuesday as lawmakers revisited the controversy surrounding Akpoti-Uduaghan's altercation with the Senate leadership over her designated seat. Some senators in their remarks stressed the importance of upholding parliamentary decorum and adherence to established rules.
In the meantime, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan has filed a lawsuit against the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, for alleged defamation. Recall that Akpoti-Uduaghan raised concerns after her seat was reassigned following a reshuffle caused by opposition members switching to the majority wing. She resisted the relocation, leading to a confrontation between her and the Senate President. However, in a suit filed before the Federal Capital Territory High Court today, the President of the Senate, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the senior legislative aide to the Senate President, Mfon Patrick, were listed as the second and third defendants. In the suit, Akpoti-Uduaghan, through her lawyer, Victor Giwa, alleged that defamatory statements were made by the Senate President and published by his aide on Facebook. Giwa argued that the statement was defamatory, provocative, and disparaging, lowering his client's dignity in the eyes of her colleagues and the public.
In another development, the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs has urged the Senate to remove sections of the tax reform bills that conflict with Sharia law, particularly regarding marriage and inheritance. The Nscia made the appeal today in a memorandum submitted to the Senate Committee on Finance on Tuesday. The Council also called on the upper chamber to replace the term ecclesiastical with religious in a section of the bills, arguing that the current wording could imply the exclusion of some religious groups. The memorandum stated that the Nscia, as the representative of all Muslims across the country, recommends that all major technical, political, and socio-economic concerns raised by different groups be equitably addressed to ensure broad satisfaction. The Nscia further urged the Senate to pass the tax reform bills once its recommendations had been considered, expressing appreciation for the opportunity to submit its views.
Moving on now, the Federal High Court in Lagos has ordered the remand of 3 workers of the State House of Assembly for allegedly assaulting officials of the Department of State Services. Justice Daniel Osiago today ordered the remand of Ibrahim Olarewaju, Adetu Adekunle, and Fatima Adetola pending their arraignment tomorrow. The DSS charged the 3 workers to court on offenses bordering on the alleged assault on the agency's officials on official duties without any reasonable excuse. The DSS accused the workers of alleged cyber stalking, recording and circulating false information on social media to undermine law and order in the country.
All right, this report says that the Nigerian Army has debunked reports that the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, has introduced an automatic promotion initiative for personnel who served in their current ranks for 5 years or more. Director, Army Public Relations, Major General Oyema Wanchukwu, in a statement described the publicity as fake misinformation. Major General Wanchukwu explained that the conditions for elevation in rank are outlined in the Nigerian Army Administrative Policies and Procedures, and the Armed Forces of Nigeria harmonized terms and conditions of service for soldiers, ratings, and airmen. It said, among others, key requirements for promotion by the armed forces include, but are not limited to, serving the stipulated minimum period on a substantive rank, successful completion of requisite in professional courses, maintaining satisfactory disciplinary and performance record, and meeting medical and physical fitness standards.
Well, still in the news, the Chief of Army Staff, Major General Olufemi Oluyede, has vowed that there will be no rest for terrorists in Nigeria until they are wiped out. He said that the Army is improving on strategies to make sure that terrorists, especially in the northeastern part of the country, are flushed out. Major General Oluyede disclosed this today during his visit to the 35 Artillery Brigade Alamata in Abeokuta. The Army boss, who inspected the quarter guard upon arriving at the 35 Artillery Brigade and subsequently addressed men of the command, noted that the Army has recorded success in taking out a huge number of bandits, adding that efforts are being made to record more success.
Right, in the meantime, President Bola Tinubu is reinforcing his administration's commitment to security, calling for stronger collaboration among security agencies to combat terrorism, banditry, and kidnapping. Speaking at a security conference in Abeokuta, Tinubu stressed the need for a coordinated approach and public support to effectively address this threat. VOP TV's Matthew Ogunswada reports.
Well, apologies for not bringing that report to you. We will do that subsequently. In the meantime, the 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate, Peter Obi, has dismissed what he described as a desperate attempt by blackmailers to link him to the controversial annulment of the June 12, 1993 election. In a statement signed by Ibrahim Omar, spokesman for the Peter Obi media breach, Obi clarified that while he supported and voted for the late MKO Abiola, he was not part of the political struggle surrounding the election. Obi's media team dismissed reports that the former Anambra State governor was connected to Arthur Nzeribe's Association for Better Nigeria, which played a role in the election's annulment. The leading opposition leader also dismissed claims that he was a beneficiary of military rule, clarifying that he never held any government position before becoming governor of Anambra State.
All right, you're still watching the 9 p.m. news on Voice of the People TV. Stay with us for more stories after this break. All right, now going back to that report, where in the meantime, President Bola Tinubu is reinforcing his administration's commitment to security, calling for stronger collaboration among security agencies to combat terrorism, banditry, and kidnapping. Speaking at a security conference in Abeokuta, Tinubu stressed the need for a coordinated approach and public support to effectively address this threat. VOP TV's Matthew Ogunswada reports.
Reaffirmed his commitment to strengthening Nigeria's security agencies and enhancing policing. Speaking at the Strategic Security Conference in Abeokuta, he emphasized the need for synergy among security agencies to combat terrorism, banditry, and kidnapping. Represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, Tinubu stressed that multi-agency collaboration is key to tackling insecurity while urging stakeholders to enhance cooperation. He also called on citizens to support security efforts for a safer society. Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun commended the federal government's approach, while Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun described the conference as crucial for shaping modern policing strategies. Voice of the People TV is on the street to get citizens' opinion on this significant development.
This issue of security, at this end of the time, everyone is anxious of money. So even no matter the officer you are going to put is after his pocket. So it's just very hard that this insecurity will really end, my dear brother. It can only reduce, it can never end. No matter the officer you are going to put. See, when we even talk about Boko Haram now, you see officers going to supply them arms. Understand me? So this time of the day is the time where people are after their own personal pockets. So it will never end. Only if a good man is on the throne, it can just reduce.
It's a good in Nigeria. Make them employ more policemen or they give them training.
Ọlọ́pàá dá láti fi ṣe security ṣùgbọ́n at the same time tó bá dá àárín kan tó bá ti ń di pé wọ́n ti pọ̀ lójú kan ẹ̀gúnjẹ lókù tó máa gbà. Ìmọ̀ tí wọ́n bá nígbà ẹ̀gúnjẹ tó bá ń ṣe bó ṣe yẹ kán ṣe tí ò sí pé ọlọ́kadà tó ń struggle láti gbowó láti ṣiṣẹ́ tọ́lọ́pàá máa try láti sọ pé òun tún mú òun mú wọ́n ní kẹ́ wá dáàbò bò lú ni. At the same time kán kúkú miss àmì náà mọ́ wọn kán jọ máa ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn.
The government to tell the security agency to allow the police to go for more training. She also equip them for more equipment, more weapons. Suggestion about it.
It's clear that opinions are mixed, with some Nigerians acknowledging the government's efforts, while others feel that more work needs to be done. As insecurity remains a pressing issue, many citizens are hopeful for more action rather than mere words. Matthew Ogunswada, reporting for Voice of the People TV.
Well, Nigerians saying that government must walk the talk. Thank you, Matthew, for that report. Now, the Minister of Interior, Olumbumi Tunji Ojo, disclosed that the visa on arrival process has not been scrapped. The minister made this known after he met with the Director General of the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, Zara Audu, in Abuja. During the meeting, the Minister of Interior reassured the DG that the visa on arrival process is not being scrapped, but rather upgraded to improve efficiency and effectiveness. The minister further clarified that travelers will still be able to apply online for short-stay visas, with approvals being granted within 24 to 48 hours.
Meanwhile, the United States has published a list of eligible countries for its 2025 visa waiver program. The United Kingdom has been removed from the program but remains eligible under specific conditions. The list, however, does not include African countries such as Nigeria, Ghana, or South Africa. According to the U.S. Bureau of Consular Affairs, the visa waiver program allows most citizens of eligible countries to travel to the U.S. for tourism or business for up to 90 days without requiring a visa.
In another development, the federal government has directed the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission to sanction all revenue-generating agencies that fail to comply with collection and remittance laws. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, issued the directive in Abuja during the inaugural plenary session following the swearing-in of newly appointed RMAFC commissioners. Akume emphasized that the commission must enhance non-oil revenue mobilization and prioritize revenue generation from solid minerals, taxation, and other non-oil sectors to reduce dependence on crude oil. The SGF underscored the need for collaboration with key stakeholders, including the National Assembly, to ensure a harmonized approach to revenue administration.
Right now in politics, where aspirants are vying for the People's Democratic Party ticket to the November 8, 2025 Anambra State governorship election will require to pay 40 million naira for the expression of interest and nomination forms. A breakdown of the fees showed that the expression of interest form costs 5 million naira, while the nomination form is 35 million naira. The party's national organizing secretary, Omar Bature, made this known in a statement in Abuja. The PDP also released its official timetable for the election process.
Well, let's take you to Edo State now, where the State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal today in Abuja reserved judgment in the petition filed by the Action Alliance against the outcome of the September 21, 2024 governorship election in the state. Justice Wilfred Bochi-led a three-member tribunal said a date for the judgment will be communicated to the parties and councils. At the resumed hearing of the petition, councils adopted their written addresses.
Now to education matters, where the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board has reiterated that there will be no extension of the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination registration beyond March 8. The board's spokesperson, Fabian Benjamin, made this known in a statement in Abuja. Benjamin disclosed in a statement that the registration period, which commenced on 3rd February, will close on March 8, 2025, as previously announced. He further disclosed that over 1.5 million candidates have already registered, which aligns with the board's projections for the 2025 examination cycle. The examinations board spokesperson urged the candidates to complete their registration as soon as possible and adhere to the set deadline for the 2025 UTME.
Well, coming up next, business, sports, entertainment stories after this short break. Stay with us. You're welcome back. Business news now. The National Bureau of Statistics has reported that Nigeria's annual gross domestic product grew by 3.84% in the fourth quarter of 2024 compared to 3.46% in the 2025-2024 third quarter and 3.46% in 2023 fourth quarter. NBS disclosed in reports that the GDP growth was primarily driven by the services sector, which expanded by 5.37% and contributed 57.38% to the overall GDP. The agriculture sector grew by 1.76% from the growth of 2.10% recorded in the fourth quarter of 2023. The services sector's contribution to the aggregate GDP in 2024 fourth quarter was higher compared to the same quarter in 2023. Overall, the annual GDP growth for 2024 was 3.40%, up from 2.74% in 2023. The NBS also reported that the nominal GDP reached 78.37 trillion naira in 2024 fourth quarter compared to over 65 million in 2023 fourth quarter, representing a year-on-year nominal growth of 18.91%.
Still talking business, where the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission has summoned the multi-choice Nigeria to provide explanations regarding its planned subscription price increase scheduled to take effect on March 1, 2025. The FCCPC, in a statement that was made available to newsmen, directed the Chief Executive Officer of Multi-Choice Nigeria to appear before the Commission for an investigative hearing at its headquarters on Thursday, February 27, 2025. The FCCPC's move follows Multi-Choice's formal notification of the price adjustment, raising concerns about recurrent unilateral increases, potential market dominance abuse, and anti-competitive practices within the pay TV sector. The agency also noted that it is engaging the sector regulator and all the relevant authorities to ensure that competition remains fair and consumer protection is upheld within Nigeria's broadcasting and digital subscription industry. Recall that the pay TV operator on Monday informed its customers that a new pricing regime will take effect from March 1, 2025, affecting all DSTV and GoTV packages.
In sports news, the federal government has called for a full investigation into the death of Nigerian footballer Abubakar Lawal in Uganda. Lawal, a professional player with Viper Sports Club, was reported to have fallen from the third floor of Voice Mall shopping arcade in Kampala on Monday morning. The chairman of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, expressed her concern over the incident in a statement signed by NICAM's spokesperson, Abdul Rahman Balogun. Dabiri Erewa stated that the circumstances surrounding his death appeared suspicious, adding that the Nigerian High Commissioner to Uganda, Ambassador Shama Shanga, has demanded a complete autopsy and thorough investigation.
Still in sport, where the delegation of Nigerians under-20 Flying Eagles has landed in Abidjan ahead of two friendly matches against the Young Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire. The contingent was led by a member of the Nigerian Football Federation Executive, Ganiyu Maje Kodumi, and the seven-time African champions will take on their Ivorian counterparts at the State Felix Houphouët Boigny in the Ivorian capital on Wednesday. Both teams will again clash on Friday at the same venue.
And now, entertainment news. Nigerian rapper Tochukwu Ojukwu, or Ojogu, popularly known as Odumodu Black, has been hospitalized after being involved in a car accident. The rapper disclosed this in a post on X today, sharing pictures of himself in the hospital and at the accident scene. Meanwhile, his fans and well-wishers have taken to social media to wish him a speedy recovery.
All right, still talking entertainment, where the magistrate court sitting in Yaba, Lagos, has acquitted popular singer Abdulaziz Fashola, popularly called Naira Marley, over the death of Ilere Oluwa Aloba, who was better known as Mohbad. Magistrate Ejiro Kubenje, in his ruling today, said Naira Marley had no case to answer. Alongside the musician, the court also freed music promoter Samson Balogun, known as Sam Larry, Owoduni Ibrahim, also called Prime Boy, and Mohbad's former manager, Opere Papan, today. However, the Directorate of Public Prosecution will prosecute Feishayo Ogedengbe, the auxiliary nurse who treated Mohbad shortly before he died.
Well, that wraps it up for us on the news at 9, but before we go, a quick look at the headlines. We told you that Natasha Akpoti is to face a Senate's disciplinary committee.
Nscia urges Senate to remove bill sections conflicting with Sharia law.
Also, the Nscia has urged the Senate to remove bill sections conflicting with a Sharia law.
And court remands 3 Lagos Assembly workers for assaulting DSS officials.
Also, the Nigerian Army has debunked reports of automatic promotion for personnel.
Obi denies involvement in June 12 struggle.
And the federal government has denied scrapping visa on arrival process.
In business, Nigeria's GDP grows by 3.84% in 2024 fourth quarter.
And in sports news, FG demands probe into death of Nigerian footballer in Uganda.
The word to subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we have Voice of the People TV, and on all the social media platforms with VOP TV Live. I am Jerry Appeon.
And I am Vivian Oguche. Good evening.